Yo, what is up? We are back. This is No Border Sports with Waruna and me, No Crypto. What is up, sir? Long time no see. Everybody's been asking about you. Thought I'd shot
Yeah,
that
I
out
mean,
live.
yeah, good to be back. I think just being busy with the usual stuff, the family and other things. So I followed 49ers but could not get active within the community as I wished.
You're still on Twitter. I seen you still talking shit on Twitter.
Yeah, but very less compared to my previous involvement.
What up, E Cam? Thanks for stopping in.
So, yeah, so let's, I think, jump right into it. So, we have the bye week, so we can relax a bit. Now we are 4-4. Ideally, we should have been 5-3. That's what I expected coming into the bye week. But we lost that Falcons game, then the Chiefs game. But again, luckily we had the Rams. So let's start with our first topic of the day. Are the 49ers back to business as usual? So before you go ahead, Ryan, I'll give a little bit of context the way I decipher the Rams win. So the Rams win, we played against the 26th ranked offense in the league. 26th ranked offense in the league. Rams were struggling on the both sides of the football. Yes, 49ers did some things really well, especially stopping Aaron Donald to getting him to the backfield, rushing the quarterback, so on and so forth. But I think we won again. Basically, we were right now. Rams are probably the worst teams in the NFC West. So we won against a team that is struggling, but still, win is a win. Basically, end of the day, you can't say the 49ers can't ask that we want to play Chiefs week in, week out. So you have to play whatever the team that is, is coming to play with you. But my only worry is, does this reflect the true capability of 49ers? Or was this just a win that we had against a bad team? So is this a good game to analyze or determine how good the 49ers are? So that's where I would begin. So go ahead, Ryan.
So, I've been on Niner World Order, and we talked about this, and I said, I even said before this game, even if we win this game, it doesn't mean anything because we obviously 4 years in a row we beat the Rams in the regular season, and I think that it's what we do after this, and if we show we can keep this up, but we really need to build on it to really be able to go somewhere and actually have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. We need to build off this offense even more, and it's we only can wait and see just if it works, if Kyle draws it up right. I mean, so I was thinking about this today, and I was thinking, ooh, Debo is coming back, and then I thought, what if you didn't come back and what if Debo didn't come back and you made him a focus of the offense anymore? What if you tried to stretch the defense between Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey? And while they were trying to keep both those players on lock, you've got Kittle and Debo popping out everywhere else. You know what I mean? Like, if you try to stretch the field with McCaffrey, from sideline to sideline and north to south with Ayuk, I think this offense has a lot more chance of getting big playmakers like Debo open. Because if everybody's keying on Debo can't do Debo stuff really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to disturb you, Ryan, over here because
Okay.
I want to basically don't want to get sidetracked into what the future is, meaning how we can improve, but
Okay.
right now trying to get the true picture of it. what this team is all about. So I'll throw something at you. So this week I read an article on NFL.com. They had their latest power rankings after week 8. Now those power rankings, they listed 49ers at number 5, which I would be happy to see 49ers at 5, but again, I have that question. Okay, does that win against Rams? It was a good win. They played well. Jimmy played well. CMC had a monster of a game, but still, does that win just alone put them in that category? So
No.
that's what I want to peel out, trying to
Okay.
understand.
Like I'm saying, they've had a proven track record of being able to beat the Rams. Now, every other team on the rest of the schedule, not so much. You know what I mean? Not with consistency over the last couple of years. You know what I mean? We don't have them obviously in our division, but what I mean is if you can lose against the Falcons and the Bears the way we did, then obviously this win against the Rams doesn't mean much because we've shown we can do it over and over again. You know what I mean? Like I said,
Yes.
it's all about what we do in these next 3 weeks. I don't think we deserve the top 5 power ranking as of yet because I don't think we've proved it. I think we've
Yeah.
had a couple games where we've won. Our defense is helped us throughout this immensely. But as far as power rankings, our defense was our only power until this last game, and we don't even know if this offense can sustain itself. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I can't say yes, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You explained it precisely. Even I had the same thought process with the power ranks in other stuff, especially hearing other content creators, even in the national media, talking about 49ers after the addition with CMC. Now, again, I think there is a one question that we could probably. Hi, David. So one question that we can probably ask to figure this out. So what do you think about 2021 team and 2022 team? No, now they were 3-5, but still they went on to win 7 games out of next 9 games, remaining 9 games to end up with 10 games. So, do you think this team is similar in strength to the team that went to the championship game last year, or are they lagging behind compared to what we had last year? What is your thought on that?
Um, so the defense has the potential to be even better. The offense has the potential to be even better. But I don't know. What I've seen on tape offensively, except for this last game, has been abysmal for the most part. Like as far as you're thinking of championship caliber football. If you're looking at the offense, you're not getting championship caliber football. And there's a lot of big names on that offense that are playmakers and can move. And that's I've had this issue with Kyle. Like, bro, I know you got Jimmy at the helm, but you also used him to get through the playoffs with only throwing 8 passes. So I know that's tough to do the whole season, but I don't. I really don't think. I really don't think that defense can memorize every single one of your plays, and the moment a formation comes up, they know exactly what play it is. So therefore, I don't think you have to worry about having a new scripted play every week that you haven't used in like 2 years, or you know what I mean, or used in this formation ever before in your life. You know what I mean? I don't think every play needs that. I think you can, if you have a good offensive run scheme and guys that can fulfill those roles, you can powerhouse it through things. We've seen us do it before, which that's why this power ranking things and it has to be seen. It's not put on tape. I feel that it's there now after that last game, but we've been here before. We've been here before. We've had these warm fuzzies.
Yes. So I think one thing I would say, just to wrap up this topic, especially the next 4 weeks will give us more indication, a clear picture of what this team is all about. For example, after the bye week, we are to play Sunday night football against Chargers. Now, Chargers, they are also a middle of the pack team. They are 4-3 right now. Then we have Cardinals, the week 11. So that would be a huge matchup, and that will tell how much either we have improved since week one, uh, because last year we were swept away by Cardinals. We lost both the games. So DeAndre Hopkins is back. So now Kyler Murray has his main weapon. So that would be interesting game. Then Saints followed by Dolphins. So I'm not going to wait until, like, of course, all the 9 games, but these first 4 weeks after the bye, I think will give us more indications whether this team has a true potential to push for a deep playoff run, even if they are going to make to the playoffs. So that's the next topic I want to come up into now.
Hey,
Seahawks. Yeah,
oh,
go ahead.
what do you think about Damian Lee's question here? Do you think the 49ers to fix the team to beat Philly? Like, we need to be aligning ourselves along a path to end up facing Philly and be able to stomp them?
Right now, I don't think we have a team capable of beating Philly, because Philly basically they have the playmakers as well as now Jalen Hurts. He has improved leaps and bounds compared to last year, because there were specific, like, series of plays that I do remember from Jalen Hurts, especially during the playoff game that they lost against Tampa Bay. There was couple of plays. Basically, Eagles were trailing, so they had to make some plays. The receiver, I think, I can't remember who was that. There were a couple of plays. The receivers were open for like a couple of seconds, but Jalen Hurts was late. He was late on his read, going through the progressions. He made the throw. I think one was an interception, other one was an incomplete pass because the defensive back made a play on the ball. So, but this year, I'm seeing basically, like, I don't have the percentages to say, but the usual, young quarterback improving year on year basis. So I don't think basically, I don't think we have a strength to beat Philly as of now, because their 7-0 record is a legit one. They have beaten teams, because why I'm saying legit is I don't believe Giants are legit. Cowboys, I still am skeptical about what Cowboys are made of, even though they have a very good record. So I think Eagles are the real team that has power in NFC. So that's just my thought about that. So maybe we can beat if we can play that perfect game. Jimmy can play the perfect game and everything works in synchronization, but still, I think Eagles are the favorites at this moment.
What about the Vikings?
Vikings, it would be touch and go, because I think Vikings are a team that, especially 49er fans, for obvious reasons, does not want to give too much credit to Vikings, Kirk Cousins. Uh, but I think they are real. They have that ability. I think if I were to take two teams who are going to make the championship games, just a very wild guess, I would take Eagles and Vikings. I think those two teams has the potential to do that. Vikings probably will win the NFC North, so probably they will be the number 2 seed in NFC. So that's where I do rank Vikings.
Okay.
So let's move on to our next topic. The Seahawks lead NFC West. Now, two questions, right? What does that tell you about Pete Carroll? Probably he's the best coach in NFC West. Then we are giving him the props. And the second thing is, are the Seahawks better than 49ers? Record wise, yes, they are 5 and 3, 49ers are 4 and 4. So, what do you think of this situation?
I think with the situation that Pete Carroll's in, him having a record over 500 and the is a good thing. Him being first in the division at this point is amazing for him. I think with this rebuild team, well, it's kind of like a halfway rebuild. I think they already had one foot in the rebuild last year, and that's why Russell was like, "Bro, I want out," and we are now seeing what a mess he is. Did you hear about him running up and down the plane for 4 hours working out on the trip to London?
Yeah, I think it's more than the commitment. It's more of a desperate move. That's how I took it.
I thought he was just trying to show to his teammates, like, look how committed I am. And it's like,
Yes, yes,
but
because it's a 230 million. I saw one tweet uh, saying that the biggest fraud in history of Colorado, 230 million. So, but
so,
it is what
but
it is.
if you want to show commitment to your teammates on a long flight to England, it would probably in the middle of the night, it would probably be not making noise or doing anything and letting people just sleep.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
saying,
That's true.
just saying. But
Yes.
he again, he was thinking about what he could do to make himself in a better situation. He wasn't worried about everybody else because he was worried about himself, what he could make you guys like me. And he didn't think that they would not like that.
So, yeah. So, what do you think about Seahawks? So,
Yeah.
I don't think we have a direct answer if someone asks us, like, okay, are the Seahawks better or the 49ers? I mean, Seahawks are the number one ranked team in the NFC West, but let's say, let's do something like this. In terms of power rankings in the NFC West, who would you put in the first place, Seahawks or 49ers?
I put the 49ers. The reason being is the 49ers have had more proven success with the people that are on their team than the Seahawks have. And not to sell them short their wins because they've been doing a great job. And Gino surprised me. Um,
Yes.
that doesn't mean that it's going to sustain the test of time.
So that's interesting when you said it, right? I mean, do you know how long he can sustain this success, right? I also have I also have the same doubts when it comes to a backup quarterback. For example, we have our own example, Nick Mullens. I remember 2020 Eagles game. I think he had like 330 yards, passing yards, two touchdowns. The next week, just fell off. This year we saw with Dallas, Cooper Rush. He was playing well, but eventually things caught up to him. But Geno Smith, I think, kind of different from that breed. He actually, I believe, have a starting caliber qualities in him. For some reason, I think he was just uh, under the rug, hidden in the league, and the time worked for him, and now he's here. So that's what I think about Geno Smith. So I think in terms of quarterback position, they are solid. Seahawks are solid. I'm not saying he's Russell Wilson good, but they are solid at the moment.
Do you see this? Denver paid Porsche 911 money for a
Yes.
1980 Honda CRX.
Yes. Just talk me through, Ryan. So how do you feel? Okay, you were explaining. You still believe 49ers are better than Seahawks, even though they have a better record. So why do you think so? Prove it to me.
Oh, I think the talent on the team. First thing, they've already won the matchup this year. Okay. So they could split it, and the as long as the 49ers take one on the Cardinals, the Niners will win the division. You know what I mean? Um, so
I want to just add one more thing. One more thing to this discussion. Now, let's just go back and compare what these two teams have been doing, right? Seahawks and 49ers. Now, Seahawks started badly. They started badly. They went down to week one Broncos, week two against 49ers. Their offense was going nowhere. Lost to Falcons. They won a high scoring game against Lions, again lost to Saints, but then, right? So at that time they lost I think 4 games. They were, but then they had a strong comeback. Now they have won last 3 games: Cardinals, Chargers, and Giants. Giants were high flying. Compared to what 49ers are still won 1 game out of last 3 weeks. So putting all that into context, do you still believe the 49ers are the team that is better compared to Seahawks who started with 2-3 and now suddenly they are 5-3?
so what you're forgetting to put in there is they're also coming up on the time of the year where the back is against the wall and they play some of their best and grittiest football. And I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to see. It's my mom told me you never back a wounded fox into a hole. I said, why? She says, because it knows it's got no chance and it's going to go out swinging. You know what I mean? It's going to bite you. It's going to this and that. And they have that mentality even when they're in the driver's seat. You know what I mean? When they're the record, when one game can put them out. You know what I mean? So I have a feeling that they're vets now, Waruna. They're vets. They know this game better than anybody on the Seahawks playing, essentially, I would say. You know what I mean? But minus Lockett. You know what I mean? A lot of guys on that team. So there's more push come to shove, they're more violent. Um they're 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 a better team. It's
Okay, so one last question on now you said they are better team. I mean, based on the schedule that both these teams have, it looks similar. So, do you think 49ers can win the NFC West? Because here's the reason, right? This is very interesting. Now, let's look at the next remaining games for Seahawks. Cardinals next week. That's a game they can win. Then Tampa Bay, Raiders, a winnable game, right? Raiders are struggling. Then Rams, again another winnable game.
not
When you
necessarily.
consider the situation that Rams are in. Panthers, a winnable game. Seahawks 49ers, week 15, that's a 50-50 game, I believe, because Seahawks are improved. Then
I might be
Chiefs,
there. I might be there, Waruna.
okay, that would be great. Then
And the Bucs.
Chiefs, probably a game that they would lose, I assume. Then Jets, again a 50-50 game. Jets are doing well, but this game at Seattle. Then again they have a Rams game. Now they have 2 Rams games within their last 9 games. That's the advantage. They have 2 Rams games plus Cardinals game. Let's look at the 49ers schedule, right? Now 49ers have Chargers, winnable game, I would say. They have Cardinals. Now they have to play Cardinals twice within last 9 weeks. They have Saints. They have Dolphins. Dolphins and Saints are 2 games that I expect to be tough games. Then they have Tampa Bay. I think,
Did you hear about Michael Thomas being out for the rest of the year?
yeah, still I think Saints can do something. I'm not saying Saints are like super tough, but still, it's not a like cakewalk. It's not going to be a cakewalk, if that makes sense. So we have Tampa Bay, Seahawks, a 50-50 game for me. Commanders, winnable game. Raiders, a winnable game. And again, Cardinals. So, I mean, if I basically, I think what you call the strength of the schedule basically the same for both these teams. So, how confident are you based on
So
that? 49ers are going to win the division.
so the Seahawks have Geno Smith at quarterback, right? And he's been
Okay.
doing great, but that doesn't mean he could be consistent. Okay. We
Okay.
haven't seen him be ever consistent in the past. This could be his new leaf. He could be going he may have got it. It might have all clicked, but I don't have that faith in him yet. We've also seen a lot of Jimmy G's struggles, which is a good thing normally, because if on average, if he's higher than his average right now, then his average should go down to his career average and flatten out. So it means the worst is behind us. So, you know what I mean? For Gino, the worst statistically is ahead, and for Jimmy G, the worst is behind. And now he has a check down king. You know what I mean? He's got a
Yes.
guy like I got no problems with him checking down now. You know, a 3-yard pass on 3rd and 7. You know what I'm saying? Like that as long as it's with McCaffrey, because that's a winnable
Situation.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just to wrap up this topic, so you believe
What is
that.
what is your thoughts?
So basically, I'm skeptical because I believe we have to give more credit than we think to Seahawks because I don't think anyone thought at the beginning of the season that Seahawks would lead NFC West by week 8 because I thought Seahawks are going to be the bottom feeders, the last place in the NFC West. Now they have surprised me, and they have played 3 good games, 3 wins in a row during last 3 weeks. So I think things are aligning together. They have figured things out. So if Gino to crumble, I think it would have already happened. But I think now he has gone through that initial barrier. So he's playing well. So I think it would be tough because we have only 1 game against Seahawks and they have 2 games against Rams because Rams games are like the safety blanket, what you call for 49ers, right? For example, there is a very nice
But
stat.
they're not the safety blanket for the Seahawks.
It could be this year. That's what
And
I'm
and
saying. It
and,
could
and
be.
Aaron Donald against those rookie offensive linemen and the trash offensive linemen might make Gino, scramble and do things he shouldn't do. So there's lots of things that can play out.
Yes. Yes, of course. Because there's one other stat I really found interesting this week. Since 29, basically from the beginning of the 2019 season up until now, 49ers have won 33 regular season games. Out of that, 25% of that wins has come against Rams. I mean, that's huge. I mean, because it seems like, okay, you don't have to worry about it. There is someone out there who will eventually take care of us. So that's how the Rams are for the 49ers at the moment. But I mean, just to wrap up this topic, I think it's a 50-50. 49ers might win the division or might not, but I would say if I had to give a definitive answer, yes, I think they would win, but still by a very small margin. Because my other worry about 49ers not winning the division is right now, they are the 7th seed in the playoff picture. So if they not win the division, that might put them in a danger because there are other teams who are lurking for that 7th spot. So I just want to see that they are winning the division, not because they want to have this like home playoff games, but to make sure that they have a guaranteed playoff spot, that either fourth spot or whatever it is. So let's move on to our next topic. Uh, let's talk about offense first. So briefly, I just want to ask you, what do you think? Is the 49ers offense is doing well compared to what we thought at the, let's say, beginning of the year? Because it was up and down. Most of the time it was struggling. But overall, what's the grade that you would give to 49 offense?
C,
Okay. Explain to me why.
because you've had 4 shitty games and 4 good games.
Okay.
You have C.
Yes. And there's one other
You don't get
interesting
an F.
fact. I'll throw at you away. There was one other interesting fact I found last week when I checked. Seahawks average 26 point, I can't remember exactly, 26.9 something, 9 something points per game. 49ers, this was before week 8, okay, when we lost to Chiefs. 49ers were 20 something. Basically, Seahawks were outscoring 49ers by 1 touchdown every game. So that tells you how, you could say, how pathetic the 49 offense were during this first half of the season.
Right, but when the 49ers and the Seahawks played, the Niners shut their offense down.
Yes. I think they were still trying to figuring out things at that moment, but their offense is better right now. But overall, let's focus on the 49 offense. So you said C. So why would you say C? Is it because of the coaching or is it because of the personnel, the players?
I would say 90% the coaching. Well, no.
Okay.
Hold on. 90% the coaching and Jimmy G.
Okay.
And then the other 10% spread out between, certain incidents in certain games, you know what I mean? A drop here, a fumble, certain things. But I'd say 90% would be Jimmy G and Kyle. And I actually
okay, break down that 90% for me. Break that 90% for me. Okay, you said 90% Jimmy, 90. I mean, collectively 90% Jimmy and
Kyle. 55 Kyle, 35 Jimmy.
Okay, that's interesting. So I'll go to that analogy. So I'll take that analogy forward to explain what I do think. I think it's about 60% coaching, 40% players. Out of that 60%, Jimmy G shares none of the blame. Basically, Jimmy G's portion is 0. Let me explain why.
Okay.
Now, coming into the season, that's why I blame 60% for the coaching. 49ers had a starting quarterback that we all believe who is going to improve this offense, right? And Kyle Shanahan, I mean, they will call it a freak injury, but he used in a way that we all feared from what we have seen from the past, especially last year, couple of games that Trey Lance played, running him through these tackles as a almost like running back got him injured. So that is the first thing the 49ers started to go into this mess. Then comes in Jimmy G. What do you expect him to do? A backup quarterback who is making $6.5 million and on incentives based on performance. A man who was fired. The team repeatedly told, even before the Panthers game, I remember he was talking about the trade discussions his agent had with Panthers. So basically, this was a guy who was already had one foot outside the door, but came back when he was asked to and do things that he's not familiar with. But there were, especially if you remember the Falcons game that we lost. I believe Jimmy G made enough plays to win that game. So that's where the next 40% comes from the other players. Because after these couple of losses against Falcons and Chiefs, Ayuk was disappointed. Kittle was talking about the execution we have to do, so on and so forth, put the players in the places. But these players, including these top three, Ayuk, Kittle, Debo, they made crucial mistakes starting from week one. Debo's fumble against Falcons. A dropped a pass on a third down. Debo dropped a pass. Ayuk dropped a pass. So if you compare their performance with CMC, his contribution, energy, what we saw last week, I think it was like 50% of what CMC gave to this team during that one single game. So that's why I blame that other 40% for the players around Jimmy Garoppolo because they believed in him, right? If they believed in Jimmy, they should have done better. They should have done not 100%, 200%. They should have done that, but they didn't. So Jimmy is not to blame in this scenario because he was basically the guy got fired and still asked to do the fulfill the job which 49ers need much more, I would say, fluency in a much more capacity. He's unable to do it because he is who he is, but he is still trying to do things. I think he has even the last game, the pass he made to Ray Ray McLeod, it was underthrown, it was late, but he's trying because it's like okay, it's basically like you come at imagine you are my boss and you have said to me, Varuna, I want you to do this, and both you and I know I am not capable of doing that, but I'm like, okay, do you have anyone to do this? Because I'm not the guy to do it. No, I don't have anyone because the guy who was supposed to do this is, let's say, he's out injured. He went on skiing, he's injured, you have to do it. Then I'm like, okay, I'll try my best. So that's what Jimmy is doing right now. So that's why I'm thinking.
That,
So
but there's been times where he messes up doing things he can do or has done before. Okay, so don't think that Kyle's just asking him to throw 50-yard bombs down the field all the time. You know what I mean? That's not the case. He is working within his parameters for the most part. It's Jimmy's vision and not staring down his first
I
read and
think it's
all
an
this great
argument
stuff.
that we can make both this, but I think most of the time this is the situation we are in because of the coaching and the other players. So it is what it is. But I agree with your grade. I would agree. C, yes, maybe they can prove us wrong. Maybe if they can get that offense up to let's say grade B, then we have a real chance. But we need the defense to step up.
Could
So
could you
let's.
wait? I got a question for you. Do you think you could have a grade A offense with a quarterback like Jimmy G? Like not an A
No,
plus, not an A plus, but you don't think you can have such a dominant offensive run game that it could totally trump Jimmy's weaknesses? Kind of like the Vikings game in the playoffs 2019.
no. I think that's why I said
Because
even
that was an
on a
A
previous
plus. That was
episode.
an A defense. A plus offense in that game.
Yes, because the reason is even if you remember that game, Jimmy made mistakes, right? So defense was able to not give away points based on his mistakes because 29-19 was the peak for Jimmy Garoppolo led 49 offense. I don't think they will ever reach there because everyone knows what's exactly going on. They know how to, stuff the box and stop the run, so and so forth. So I don't think with Jimmy right now, 49ers can be even an A grade offense. Maybe they can be a B grade offense at their best, maybe B plus, but I don't think they are going to be uh, A grade offense. So let's move on to defense. So what do you
Wait,
think about 49
can I
defense?
can I play that clip we got? Because I think it kind of went
Yes.
with the
Let's,
offense. Yeah.
let's play that clip and move on. Yes.
Yeah, before we get off topic, I think that one hit pretty good. So, with that, enjoy this clip from the Pat McAfee show, where A.Q. Shipley, center for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a couple other teams, and also coach, was talking about. He actually outlines, if you go on the Pat McAfee show, he does. What is it, it's offensive line plays. It's about a 30-minute segment. It's all about like run plays, blocking, men pancaking other ones. If you like a good offensive lineman, I mean, this is what you want to watch. But here he was talking about the 49er offense.
Close this gap down when it's there. You also have the secondary player too, but
J.C. Horn.
they can't play it right with all the different moving parts. They just can't.
So the Niners are going to be a tough out for every single team going forward.
As long as Jimmy G doesn't screw it up and just manages the game, completes the balls that he needs to, and they continue with that run game.
Niners are a problem.
Niners are a problem.
Niners can be a problem.
Yes. Yeah, again, there is now every statement like this, it comes with a certain, how do I say it, a certain doubt, because nobody's saying Niners are going to be a problem. They are saying Niners can be a problem, right? There's a difference.
Yes.
And there is a that afterthought. If Jimmy plays well, if he does not make mistakes, so let's think about this, right? Now let's talk about. We talked about Eagles. Now everyone knows. Okay, Eagles are going to be a tough opposition to every team that plays. That's a one sentence. They are going to be tough. If you take Bills, if you take Chiefs, they are going to be tough. It's going to be difficult to play against them. There are no afterthoughts about it. There are no can-bes, ifs, no. But when it comes to 49ers, there are ifs, there are can-bes, so on and so forth. So I think that sums up where we are, 49er fans. At this moment, nothing to be ashamed of, I would say, because it is what it is at this moment.
We need to get the run game up and running hard. I'm just saying we need to knock people. So hold on. While you were talking there, I was just thinking, like, no, we're not. We're not the team that everybody was talking about in the media last year around playoff time. Like, nobody wants to meet this team. Are they the best team? We don't know, but nobody wants to play them because they're going to knock your socks off. It's going to be a brutal game, and who knows if you're going to get through it if you win. You know what I mean? Even if you win, you don't know if you're going to get through it. So we are not that team right now. Could we? Yes. Could we? Yes. But it's going to take a lot from the guys on the team and the coaches to get us to that point.
Yes. So let's talk about the defense. So I would say, since you talked about the grades, I would say the performance degraded, but not because of the entire effort, but because of the injuries. So right now there are so many things. Again, there is a part to blame for the coaching and their decision making, draft selection, so on and so forth. But still, it was. I think it's a like B plus effort at the end of the day, because against the Rams, the week 4 we had 7 sacks against Matthew Stafford because defense was playing lights out at that time. This week they had only 3 sacks. I think it was 2. It was 2 sacks against Matthew Stafford. First half they scored 14 points, 49ers were trailing, but second half we made the adjustments and we made, because last week's stats, some interesting stats. Matthew Stafford first half 150 passing yards, 17 completions out of 21 passing attempts. Second half only 17 passing yards. So there was a huge drop down. The way 49er defense improved in the sense how they played, the execution wise they had a better half. But overall, I think the biggest problem that 49er defense has is right now not having the starters, healthy starters, because we can't afford to lose both Armstead and Kinlow at the same time. But unfortunately, we are. So we are when mostly went down again. Our defense, I mean, significantly dropped down. So there are so many injuries in this defense. So we are hurting due to that. So that's why I think still it's like a B grade defense. The only way to improve to this defense is nothing but not the coaching, anything. The if we can get players healthy at least by start of December, then we would have a very good chance that this team at least can carry this team to a deep playoff run. That's what I think.
I I got to give the defense a B, and the reason why it's not a B plus is
The
because
same grade.
well, you said B plus, and I'm just going B.
I thought it's B. I think the final would be B. Yes.
Okay. Uh, they when they started losing people and people started going down, some of our best players started trying to save the game in one play, and they just got themselves out of position and they gave up a bigger play, and that's why I give almost almost a B minus, because there's two games there that they lost. The defense, well, not the defense lost, but that the defense didn't play up to their caliber, even with people down, when I thought they could have they could have played better. You know what I mean? I do think that the Falcons game, they were a little outmatched up front. I don't think we don't have a heavy guy up front that really, I know we got Ridgeway, but to me, he's not really a nose tackle. It seems like he can get moved back. It seems like he's just a big guy who's got speed and hands. You know what I mean? And we need somebody who is an anchor in the middle of that D line. So when they come up and they try to double both our tackles and run up the middle on us, we got an anchor who can shed one block towards the inside and blow up the hole and the gap. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so a linebacker's free. You know what I mean? Something like that. We need to be heavier up there. And so I don't really put that on the defense, how they got mushed there. But some of the plays they were making when they could have made plays in that Falcons game, they were not. If you look, Hufanga, let's see, what was it?
He has missed 13 tackles so far. I think.
But also Stafford, when he ran for that touchdown this last game, it seemed like Hufanga pulled up, and he might have been able to get in there in time and knock him off course from getting to the pylon. But I think he hesitated, and that cost us the touchdown at that point. Not to say that they wouldn't have ended up scoring on that part, but the Niners have held people from less. So it's things I like to see, and he's a tremendous talent, and I don't really. If it persists, it's something that you need to rag on him about. But he's still in the learning phase. You know what I mean? He's got a great sense of he's got a great spidey sense, and it seems like he needs to hone some of the other senses. You know what I mean? Who's got who covered, and when can I go after this guy? You know what I mean? So, hey, I'm down. I'm down for the ride just as long as he gets better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I think yeah. But just to add something to that is like Hufanga played his best football when all the starting players were healthy. Basically, when others were there, so he would play that sometimes the hero ball, right? The ball hawk. But once these guys go down, now he has to figure out, okay, what do I know? Now I have to Hi, Kels. So now I have to adjust. So now I have to think about not just making that flash of play, brilliant play. Just cool it down a bit. Okay, now I have to think about a bigger picture. I have to take more responsibility. Again, a learning curve. Nothing against the player. This is part of any game. So as young up and upcoming players, you are going to learn that process through your mistakes. So I think it's good it is happening because I trust him that he's going to learn from this. Go ahead.
First, shout out to Rich from Celts Chronicles for stopping by. He's got a great show on his own channel, so go check out Celts Chronicles. But also, he's been doing collabs lately with a couple other people, and I can't remember who all with off the top of my head. It seems there's a lot of collabs going on lately. But yeah, go check him out on his platform and check all his shows out. He's very good dude, very knowledgeable about football. He's good at predicting things. Didn't he predict Trey Lance to the 49ers?
I,
So
I can't remember that, but yeah.
I think he was like one of the first people who's predicting it. So I mean, or once they moved up to 3, I think he called the Trey Lance. So tune in to Rich from Celts Chronicles if you want to be on some breaking news before it even breaks, huh? Um, so where were we at again? Sorry.
So basically, we were talking about the grades for the defense, some of
Yeah.
these. How I mean, we were basically breaking down some of why there were some struggles, why it went down, how these young players learning the art of defense once these starters went down, and especially losing both Kinlo and Armstead. I mean, you were talking about that run game, how he was failing to stop the run. So that's why I said at the beginning, you can't afford to lose Kinlo and Armstead, both of them at the same time. Latter, the Kinlo, it's a bad draft decision. Not that he don't have the potential, but it's a bad decision. We traded Buckner and got a draft pick, and now Kinlo can't stay healthy. Nothing against the player, but it is what it is. Because end of the day, you need a player to be available. He's not available. It's simple as that. Potential wise, he's a great talent, but availability wise, it's a mistake.
I don't think it pays out to. Oh, I can hear double. I don't think it pays off to trade somebody for a pick and then try to get that same type of player out of a pick. I don't think it's going to work. I think you just need to get the best person at the pick to fit your scheme or somebody you have an eye on. I know Kinlaw was supposed to go high. I know he was, but you should have thought about it a little bit more. Like defensive tackles, don't take them high. Take the defensive ends high. Defensive tackles, like a lot of the defensive tackles who are good and don't cost a lot of money aren't first rounders. And you can have a amazing defensive line with people who aren't first rounders because they all got their little things that they could do and they do well. And you put them all together, and if they're good team players, you can get a lot done. And it's just somewhere where you can't. Like, Fletcher Cox, he's a beast, right? But so is that contract. And if you're going to put something on the ends, you know what I mean? It's going to choke up a lot of money that you're going to have to suck away from your linebackers or your defensive backs. You know what I mean? You've got to pull it from somewhere. And to just be able to have manageable guys there in the interior who are big, you know what I mean? And who can tackle, or it's all you need. Get some push. You know what I mean? I really wish we would have gone to the well and got some defensive guy. Some defensive, like
Yes.
you could sue off the bench.
So come now, just to wrap up this topic now, for the offense, you graded them on the based on the first 8 weeks, their performance and what your expectation is to be for the remainder of the season. For the defense, now you said it's a B grade, and do you think that again they can get back to A plus defense that we thought their real capability potential is? Because I believe they can be, provided that they can, how much players they can get back to health. Especially Mosley is missing. If Verrett JV can come back, I think we should be really well. We should do really well. So, what is your final thought on defense?
It's on JV and Eric Armstead. You have to write Kinlaw off. He's
yes, done. He's done.
Armstead could also be done.
But still there is a hope.
Still there is a hope, and we need him.
Yes.
We need
Armstead.
Unless we're gonna, pick up guys off the street and somebody's gonna flash, we're in trouble. We need a big guy who can absorb a double team and laugh. You know what I mean? We need two. We need two of them. You know why? So we can put them both in at the same time on the goal line. You know what I mean? And really stop that forward push right there. And we got our other tackles. They go great on the other side. You can make them as almost ends and whatnot. You know what I mean? And have our DNs as outside linebackers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I want to ask one last thing on this topic, because I felt like we touched really good points regarding the defense and all this matter. Now I'm going to tell you the players that are missing right now, the starting players from the defense that are missing right now, and tell me who are the players that you think like absolutely necessary for us to get back to like that top level, A grade level, and some players that we can, I wouldn't say do without, but still we can find some workaround. There might be some other players in the bench that can step up, but in the worst case scenario, we should be okay without them. But the players that you think are really required for this defense. So I'll start. Okay, obviously first one is Eric Armstead.
Yep, I already stated that. He might even be more important than Jason Barrett.
Okay. Greenlaw.
You have to have Greenlaw or Aziz to go along with Fred. One of them, at least.
JV, Jason Barrett.
Oh, yeah. I feel to get to an A+ defense, you got to have Barrett across from Travarius Ward because Mosley's out, unfortunately. If we had Mosley and Ward, we wouldn't be in half these issues right now that we'd be in.
Yes. Jordan Willis. He's still on IR, probably expect a week 10 return.
I don't know. The reason being is I don't know if he can be as dominant as Eric Armstead needs to be, but it seems like he comes up big at crucial times. So, you know what I mean? So, he plays his ass off and he plays with a lot of heart. And I will take one of those guys on my team any day because you can't stop that. They're just going to do it all the time, no matter what.
Yes. Then Mosley is out for the season, so no point of talking about him. Kinlaw, not sure whether he will be back. He's not out for the season, but they said expected return week 11. But what do you think about Kinlaw? Is he absolutely needed, or can we find something without him?
I don't think we can find someone with his talent and his size when he was healthy and, with his play, you know what I mean? No, I don't think we can find anybody. That's why Eric Armstead is so important, because I'm already scratching Kinlaw off.
The next guy is Aziz Al-Shire. Week 12 expected return.
You got to have either Greenlaw
Greenlaw.
or Aziz next to Fred Warner to have an A or an A plus defense.
Okay.
I
So
think we could have an A plus defense with one of those two guys, Fred, and one of Burks or Flanagan.
So basically, you are saying that we need JV, Armstead, and either Greenlaw or Aziz Al-Shire back to be that A grade defense. Makes sense. Makes sense. So let's move. I mean, yes, we are past 1 hour mark, but I just wanted to do this topic as well. Just wrapping up without wrapping up the show. So this is idea about good, bad, and ugly. Usually that's the title of my article, the weekly article. So this is here. So from each category, each of these three categories, I want to ask you, what was the good situation, or the best thing happened, the worst thing happened, worst thing since the bad, something bad and something ugly happened during season in terms of players or whatever it is. So maybe I can go ahead, so then you will get more idea about what I want to.
I've got mine already.
Okay, go ahead.
Good.
So what's good?
CMC. That's good.
Me too.
Bad was Jimmy being the starting quarterback.
Okay.
And ugly was Trey's ankle after running up the middle of the fucking line on that stupid ass play that Kyle Shanahan called. So sorry, Celts. I didn't mean to curse so much, but it's still.
Okay, so let's go through again. So good CMC trade, the bad
Jimmy G
starting, finally ugly Trey Lance injury. So that is your list. So for me, good, obviously.
I'll swap that out. I'll go because bad, and I think was Mosley. I'll go with Mosley. You know what I mean? Because I felt bad for him because he should be getting the bag.
Yes. So good for me, the CMC trade, obviously, because finally it's something good to cheer about. The bad thing for me is Deebo Samuel. I did not expect him to have a same year as last year because it's really difficult to duplicate. But I think Deebo Samuel's performance is not up to the level that we expected, or the contract. Just saying. I mean, the M what you talked about. So that's bad. The ugly, of course, Trey Lance. The way 49ers ruined their season for this franchise quarterback 2 years in a row. So that's ugly. So my list is good CMC. The second one, the bad Deebo Samuel. He hasn't performed up to the expected level, and finally ugly is Trey Lance. So I think most of even the chat. We have to read what Celts think about. Celts think about the good CMC Hufanga Banks. Yes.
Shout out to Banks. I mean, and Burford too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like Banks has been amazing, but Burford, for being a rookie, is doing amazing also. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Banks is doing amazing for a second-year player, or even a veteran almost. You know what I mean? Because he's not giving up stuff. He's doing really good, and I hope he stays healthy and keeps on his path, because he'll make himself some money in this league playing like that.
Yes.
I just wish I'd seen Jason Poe. Like someone's talking about moving Burford over and kicking McGlinchey out, and then you know, I don't know who would do whatever. Like, okay, let's do that and put Poe at guard. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Everybody
now
talks about
I had a very
Dell.
interesting thought. It's not an interesting thought. When I think about this again, when you mentioned McGlinchey, maybe I'll leave Trey Lance out of this ugly portion. McGlinchey is the one who is ugly in this scenario because
No, you can't, Waruna. The reason
yes, I
being,
can't. Unfortunately, I can't. So let's go through the case list. So he says bad and ugly both combined Trey. The whole scenario, the whole episode.
The
Yes,
debacle.
exactly. Yes, the debacle. It was ugly. It was bad. There are no words in dictionary to describe that feeling. I mean, not just he's getting injured. The aftermath in the sense how 49ers reacted. The Mike Silva article that came out. I mean, that was part of this ugly drama.
Kyle Juszczyk, just like I like
Yes.
Kyle, but that just
I mean,
seems
forget about
so
Kyle
douchey.
Juszczyk, right? For a moment, because you can argue it both ways. But the article, nobody denied it. Mike Silver, he's a journalist with credibility. Nobody denied it. Not a single word, which means it's true. So finally, let's read this kid's comment again. The biggest question mark heading into the season was Banks and Burford. Props to them for sure. Yes, absolutely agree. And one other thing, Ayuk is a pros pro, continues to mature and trend up. Yes, that's true. Because last year, if you remember, I want to just talk a little bit about Ayuk before we wrap up. Because last year, you might remember, there were multiple plays. Ayuk lined up in the different side. Basically, he lined up in the wrong place. And he gave up some penalties. So, but this year he's different. He is so much disciplined. I've seen him putting us effort and everything, and he's been really good. I mean, yes, props to Ayuk.
Yeah. And also, like I was saying earlier about Ayuk, I think we should use Ayuk to stretch the field vertically. I think Jimmy and Ayuk should practice some timed routes. So Jimmy could just throw the ball to a spot on the field, and Ayuk knows he's got this much time to get to that spot. And I think we stretch him vertically like that, and we stretch him horizontally with CMC. And by doing that, it's going to make Kittle and Debo pop out in the in-between areas where they can't cover. You know what I mean? Because, like you were saying, Debo's not playing to his level. You know what I mean? And to get him in more space with less people looking at him because they're getting killed by Brandon Ayuk and CMC, it'll just make it so it'll defeat people their morale because it's like I try this, and then this happens, and then that happens, and I can't do anything, and they'll just quit.
Yes. So with that, I think we went up almost around 75 minutes for today, so we can wrap it up. So I think right now we have positive thoughts. Luckily, the Rams win. I mean,
They're
made sure
always
that
there for that get right game. They're always there for get right game. In fact, next year, I think when we come out with the schedule, we'll be able to figure out what the season's actually going to look like. Once the Rams games get scheduled, we'll be able to, so the 49ers are going to struggle up until this point, and then they're going to win this game, and then they're going to go up here until they struggle a little bit right here, and then they're going to win that game, and
Yeah, that's true. So with that,
let's thank everybody that showed up today. Celts Chronicles, Rich from Celts Chronicles, want to thank him. Damian Lee was in here all night and asking questions. David McNew showed up. What up, David McNew? David's a hardcore. We also had E. Kim show up. And Yep.
Brian. We
And
had
Brian.
Brian. So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. So
Appreciate
have a
y'all
wonderful
joining.
night.
Yeah. Take her easy. Peace.